Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Season 3 of the Netflix original, Narcos. So I actually did watch the whole season the day it came out, with full intent to make a video about it the same day, but excuses, lots of travel for work, and I didn't. So Season 3 of Narcos tells a similar story to the previous seasons in the sense that it's about DEA agents collaborating with Colombian authorities to take down a drug lord. But this time, it's all about Agent Pena and all about the Cali Cartel. So Agent Murphy is nowhere to be seen in this season. I did think it was a little weird that they don't even reference him, but I also was kind of glad he's gone because I was not a fan of his character. Agent Pena is in a similar situation, but he's in a different position than Murphy was. He does have a bit more power now, but he has less support. While it seems like the government wanted him to go after Cali, it becomes apparent very quick that they just wanted the hero to be around while the agencies kind of work out a deal that works best for them but is hardly justice. Pena is also pretty much alone this time. He does have subordinates, one of which, by the way, is totally a discount Murphy, but he doesn't have a wife or kids to protect. All he cares about is taking down the cartel, but he wants to do it his way and the way that he feels is right. So now we have our season. Pena is going after the Cali Cartel, and he has to be creative with how he justifies his actions in order to get the resources that he needs. The bad guys are also very different this time around. The Cali Cartel does share a lot of characteristics with Pablo's cartel, but the leaders of the Cali Cartel feel more like businessmen than crime lords. They're more calculated, and for the most part, they're not as menacing. They're not trying to be. It's not their thing. Pablo was this villain. He was brilliant and terrifying and a little unhinged. The gentlemen of Cali are all about the bottom line. So while this season feels like it has less of a villain, it works well because it doesn't just feel like more of the same, which is, what I was worried about. So I loved this season. A lot of it has to do with Agent Pena being a super compelling character. I think the performance by Pedro Pascal is fantastic, but the character itself is very worthy of being in the lead. And just like the previous seasons, the show is about the cartel and the people involved in it just as much as it is about Pena and the DEA. This time around, we also get the perspective of what it's like working for the cartel when you're not necessarily a murdering psychopath. We see it through the point of view of some guy who isn't a bad guy. He just has a job, which he's very good at, and he happens to work for very bad people. Does that make him a bad person? I don't know. Does it? That's an interesting question that the show deals with, though. In seasons 1 and 2, we did get to learn a lot about Pablo, and he was a pretty incredible character, but the hunt spread across 2 seasons did feel a little stretched out. I loved season 2, but I also felt that more of what happened in season 2 should have been in season 1. There is none of that in season 3. This season feels tight, the pacing is consistent, and the story never lets up, never gets boring. And just like always, this is an historical show. You can look up what happened on Wikipedia, so that kind of frees the show from having to rely on twists or cliffhangers. It just focuses on laying out the story and developing the characters. Whether you know what happens next or not, that doesn't matter. It's all about the road they take to get there, and it's an exciting one. And there's even less voiceovers this season. There's still a lot of it, but Pedro Pascal is just better at it, or his character was written better, or less exposition is needed at this point. Whatever the case may be, the voiceover totally worked, it worked better in this season. Bottom line, should you watch it? Absolutely. It's difficult for me to say that this was the best season of the show, because Pablo Escobar was such a massive part of Narcos that everything still seems to happen in his shadow. But from a storytelling perspective and pacing, this probably was my favorite season, and you should totally watch it with your face. If you haven't watched any season of Narcos, because most of it is in Spanish, I get it. If you're not used to reading subtitles, it can take you out of the experience a bit at first. Most of us non-Americans are super used to it by now, but I just wanted to say that I think you're missing out, not just on Narcos, but on a lot of really great shows. Season 3 of Narcos still mixes the horrifying history of the war on drugs with bits and pieces of actual footage with great storytelling and performances. I'm sure they've taken some liberties with the stories to make it more dramatic, but the stories at the core of Narcos really happened, which is terrifying. And Narcos is a really good show. So that's it. What about you? Have you watched season 3 of Narcos? What were your thoughts about it? And also, what's your favorite crime show? Not a show about the cops, but a show about the criminals. Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get the discussion going. If you're going to be talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TV Time. And you can also join our Discord server where we chat about TV and it's a lot of fun. You can check out all the links in the description. But if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging, and I will see you in Mexico.